Hi, everybody. I am Dr. Sherry, and we are not going to do an intro today. I'm just going to jump right into it. So, welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's see what's going on as people are coming into the room. Um, I do have a few updates this week. This is not going to be a long live. And for those that are joining us live, I know you're used to me going on Fridays, but I couldn't come on yesterday. But we are here today. Okay. And for those that are watching the replay, welcome. Hello. And as we always say, go ahead and give a thumbs up, you guys, because it helps to push it out a little further. And then also, if you would subscribe to the channel so you'll know when I'm going live. Hey, Miss Antoinette, how are you? All right, so let's just jump into the updates that I have. And I know everybody, keeps coming back in to try to figure out what's going on with the bank. What's going on in the bank? I do have some updates about the bank. And I do see people are coming in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So let me just give a few announcements before I get to that. Um, Tomorrow, I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. All right. So tomorrow we will have our Bill University. Okay. And you guys, I think we're on our fifth one. Every month we have given you a remedy to use in the de facto. Okay. For your bills, court cases, things that are going forth. So we'll have our next Bill University tomorrow. Yes, that is Easter. Y'all know I don't do the Easter thing. You already know I know the real deal about all of that. And so I'm awakened. I'm awakened to what's going on. And so I'm just not going to participate in some of the buffoonery that they have going on. And I participate when I want to participate. So let me just say this. I'm in control of what I do. Hey, Harrison, how are you? Hey, Shallow. Hey, everybody. He's saying hello, everyone. I participate in what I want to participate in. Some people just, they don't do any of the de facto buffoonery. Okay. Um, some stuff I'll participate in, like around the holiday time, because you really can't get away from, to be honest with you, because they have it spread out so far and wide that, listen, it's going to be something that you're going to be bumping into. With the Easter thing, I really stopped doing the Easter thing a long, long, long time ago. Now, don't get me wrong. I will, go and watch some of the presentations they have about, the story of Jesus, what have you. But in my mind, I really understand what's going on. Okay, I understand truly what is, and that's important. That if you're going to participate in the they call them pagan holidays, just really know what you're looking at and what it's all about. And that's the thing. You have to look at it with being awakened. Yay, my favorite class. My apologies. That's how are you doing? Oh, that's fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. So, I give my take on it, and again, it just depends on where you are. And this is what people have to understand. You self-govern. So when you self-govern, you make your own choices. You don't have to. Some people choose don't to not participate at all. Some people like me, I'm going to choose what I participate in and what I'm not going to participate in, which day I might pop in on, which day I won't pop in on, but at the same time, I understand all of it. I understand the whole thing, and that's what you have to do. You have to understand what's really going on and what you're looking at. Grand Rising. All right, so anyway, we'll have our Bill University tomorrow, and tomorrow is a very, very important day because we will have our first meeting of our Freedom Forward program. So for those that know anyone that has been in any type of bumping of the heads with the de facto, experiencing victimless crimes, have records of victimless crimes, what have you, join us tomorrow. Join us tomorrow. This is our first meeting. There's no charge. Okay. So we are trying to begin to educate the masses on how to begin to fight back with the buffoonery. All right. And so that will be tomorrow. I think it's 5 o'clock. I might be wrong with that. Let me check that right quick because I need to make sure I put it right in the calendar. So give me 1 second because I couldn't remember if it was 4 or 5, but I will let you know in just a second. Oh, it is 4 o'clock. Okay, I need to change it on the calendar then. It is 4 o'clock tomorrow. Okay, so we're doing it right after. We are doing it right after Bill University. All right, so give me 1 second. Let me change this here to not lead people astray. Okay, I apologize for that. I tell you, that's why I need people to help me because I cannot keep all of this. I cannot keep all this together by myself. Okay. All right. So we got Bill University tomorrow. We'll be doing another remedy. That's at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You need to be in the school to participate on that. And then we have the Freedom Forward program that will be at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. Okay. All right. So, and again, this is for anybody. You can go to New Life. Let me see. New status newlife.com. What is going on? New status newlife.com, and you can register for the Freedom Forward program. Blessings, Dr. Sherry, everyone. Don't forget to hit the like button. Thank you so much. Doing Life with Mama G. All right, so that is tomorrow. On Monday, if you're in the school, we have I need to double check, but I think Alan's going to do his automobile automobile committee meeting. And then Tuesday, TikTok Live. I'll be back this Tuesday for TikTok Live. I was out of town. It's really, really difficult for me when I'm on the West Coast. I can't get the times right. So I just need to just start canceling everything when I'm on the West Coast because I can't remember anything. I can't keep up with the times and I'm always messing up. So that's why y'all didn't see me at all on TikTok Live because I just not the times. I can't ever get it together. But I will be back on TikTok Live this Tuesday. And then this Friday, we have our orientation. We do it once a month now. So this is the time you need to invite. I'm only doing this once a month. Okay. And so it's important that you bring everybody when you can on that every fourth Friday because I just stopped doing them every Friday. We weren't getting a lot of participation. So Easter equals master, the falls forward and becomes E. All right, cognizant, dissonance, and Humpty Dumpty. That's right. The story of Ishtar. Okay, so when y'all learn the story of Ishtar, then you understand how all that works. Okay, so now there's a couple updates with the bank. Let me go with first of all the understanding of the being able to transfer. Okay. So what Anna is talking about now is that she is discussing that when this bank is and it's online. So let's be clear. When she had made the comment a couple of weeks ago, that went far and wide when they were saying it's going to be on next week. Next week. I know if like many, I took it as this on for everybody. Is this going to be open to everybody next week? And I think that's what we were all believing. And they may have even, thought that they were going to be able to do that. Or it might have just been a misunderstanding. I'm not sure. But the global bank is open and it's online. Okay. You can clearly see the dashboard. All of that is there. Now, the comment and the questions that we have is, when is it going to be turned on to the people? Okay, so let's just be very, very clear. That's where we are right now. When is it going to be turned on so we can access it to do transactions? That's what we need answered. Okay, so I think I have your answer. But first, let me talk about this part. It's very important that you begin to understand the different currency exchanges around the world. That's going to be important. Okay. With the global bank, I think we're going to be able to change the AFD into 184 different currencies. Now, this is the thing, and this is the part that we need to start educating everybody on so you can have a thorough understanding on how this is going to work. There is going to be the AFD side, which is the currency that is backed by money. Okay. And let me talk about the word currency for a minute. When we think about the word currency, you guys understand it's just a word that means energy, current Current, CURR, it's energy. Everything is energy. And what they have had us do is we put our energy into something that wasn't even real. We put our energy into working and slaving and going to jobs. And some people spending 30, 40, some even 50 years working into something that wasn't even real. That's why you don't see a return from it, because it's fake. It's a lie. That's why you have to learn how to manifest mentally. I think I talked about on the last live how, you when you begin to manifest, when you begin to understand who you are, you begin to tap into a higher power that has nothing to do with this fake money, this fake FRNs that they have us slaving for. Okay, well, not us. I came out a long time ago. Okay, you have to learn how to manipulate their system. Okay, and that's what this is. You have to learn how to manipulate their system using your mind, knowing how to manifest, living in another spiritual realm. And that's really what it's about. Okay, so when we talk about now being able to take the AFD and to exchange it into 184 currency energy exchanges, of what you're going to get back, understand that AFD is backed by gold. So you will use your AFD to pay for vendors who will accept gold. This is what you have to begin to understand. And I think that's why they're being kind of slow in turning this on, because everybody needs to be educated on what they're doing. Okay. So you will only use your AFD if you're going to utilize it to pay for something in gold. Remember, our AFD, our American Federation dollar, is the only dollar that is backed by gold. Okay. Now, also on your dashboard, you will have credits. And this is the part that we're not talking that much about. And we got to begin to talk about it so you'll understand what's going on when you see it and you're not thoroughly confused. Okay. So on the credit side, this is you receiving back all of the credits that you were manipulated out of since birth. All right. So now let's talk about the credit side, and then I'm going to go back to the birth part so we can kind of understand where all of this is tying in. Okay. So you're going to receive back credit, and there's so many credits that you're going to receive back. It's unbelievable. Now, some people were talking about, do I need to take the Sign in America course? There is a portion of wealth that's going to be granted to those that have taken Sign in America as well. Okay. Now, do you need to take the course to receive the credits from that Sign in America piece that they've taken from us? That's a whole nother sect of credits of debt that they tricked us out of, that's going to be coming back. Okay. Now, I've heard two different aspects of this. One is stating that yes, you should take the Sign in America. Those that have taken the Sign in America course will be the first to receive those credits back. And then I also heard you don't need to take the Sign in America course, but you are going to have to wait, okay? Because those that have taken Sign in America will be the first to receive. Now, I haven't, Anna said the latter, that you don't have to take it, you will receive, but it'll just be later on, okay? And I also heard one of the coordinators state that for those that have taken Sign in America, that you will receive those credits on the front end, all right? Now, if I were you, just go ahead and take Sign in America and be done with it, okay? It's just best to be in order. All right, let's see what's going on with the comments. Hi, John Deline. Happy Saturday, all. Hey, how are you? All right. Hey, sis. Okay. And you guys, don't forget to give a thumbs up. Please, if you give a thumbs up, it pushes it out a lot further. You have no idea. Don't forget to subscribe to all of my YouTube. And you guys, all of my social media. And remember, I told you I have to be careful about what I post. I actually got a strike on my TikTok for posting the notice to the sheriffs. And that's why I'm telling you, I got to be cool with this stuff, okay? I got to be cool, calm, and collected, okay? Because they try to shut you down, all right? But now and then again, I will, throw little stuff out there but I do it in a very stick way. So follow me on all social media. And I don't know if TikTok is going away. They're saying TikTok is going away. Then they say it's coming and it's going. I don't know. But follow me on all social media. Okay. And then you're covered on all social media. All right. Now let's go back to the exchange. So with the Sign in America, remember you self-govern. Take it if you want to. You don't have to. After you take it, you're going to get a certificate. Okay, they're going to give you a certificate. So it's just up to you to decide if you want to go ahead and take it or not. Now back to the dashboard in the global bank. So there's going to be a side for AFD. There's going to be a side for your credits. These are all the credits that are coming back to you that have been taken from you at birth. All right. All of these credits are literally coming back to you. What they're stating now is that you should use your credits to pay for all the other items and only use the AFD for those who will accept gold only. Okay. So literally your AFD can just sit there. All right. Because apparently there are going to be so many credits that it's going to be unbelievable. And the thing about it is that they're going to have to pay for every debt that they have taken from you. They have to repay you with 34 pieces of silver, which would be 34 credits. All right. So if you spent $10 on something, they have to repay you using that silver now. And I think she said she gave an estimate of silver was going for like $34 compared to $1 now. Okay. $34 an ounce. Can we access the sign through our school? No, you have to go through the TASL website to and I'll try to put the link in the school. All right. I'll try to put the link in the school. I hope I remember to do that. I need to give myself a note because I'll forget. Y'all know I'll forget. Be wise and harmless as a dove. Amen. Let me see if I can. Antoinette, can you do me a favor? Because I'll forget. Can you put me a message into the school, and whoever pick up that message? Sometimes I pick up the message, you guys. Sometimes I'll have somebody pick up the message for me. But if you'll put me a message in the school, a message to me, just put SIA or just put Sign in America, and I'll know. And I'll try to put the link to Sign in America in the school for everybody. Okay. Sign is a simple open book test, and if you miss an answer, give you an answer when you resume. Yes, the answers you miss. I think that's the sign. Yeah, it is. That is. It's a quiz. Yeah. Don't get freaked out, you guys, because you can just go back and if you got one wrong, just go back and do it over. It's no problem. Thank you, Shiloh. Absolutely. Okay. Thank you so much, Miss Antoinette. I've done sign. All right. Okay. Good. All right. So. So you're in order with the Sign in America. Now I'm back at the credits. So that's how they're doing the credits. They're basing the credits on the ounce of silver. And I think one ounce of silver was at $34 when she last mentioned it. Okay. So you're going to have the credit side. You're going to have the AFD side. You're going to have your dashboard. If you sing your dashboard, you can see they have everything on there from purchasing a house, purchasing a car, taking a trip. I mean, everything is on the dashboard. Okay. Even my company is in there as a vendor now, as far as Land and Soil Property Group. So if you're needing some assistance in selling your property in the de facto, we can assist you with that, and I will accept AFD when it's turned on. Okay, but you'll be able to do it when everything is turned on. Because somebody asked, "Would you take it now?" I don't even think you can. Well, no, you can. You can transfer it through vendors now. You can do that, yeah, but not quite. I'm not quite ready to accept it. Okay. All right, that's where that is now. So let's go back to you're all probably wondering, well, when is all this going to happen? When I know you want to know a drop down date. Okay. Only thing I know is she said it will be well before October. Okay. It will be well before October. But at this point, they're not giving a specific date. But what they did say is that when it's turned on, it's going to just be like a whirlwind. Okay, it's just going to just open up, and everybody's lives are going to change instantly. All right. I do also know this, that the same organization that created, or the same corporation that created the QR codes for BRICS. So if you all know the understanding of BRICS, BRICS, we know that's the countries that have come together to start their own banking system. So the same organization that created their QR codes for BRICS is the same organization that's creating our QR codes. And our QR codes are going to be used to pay for things. So like, for example, if you use Cash App, that's a QR code that somebody can scan, and again, money will leave you and go to them, and and they will receive. Okay, we will have QR codes too. They're working on those right now. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. We don't understand all the stuff that's happening on in the background for all of this to come together, but I know they were kind of upset that the same organization that is in that de facto system is the one that's actually making the QR codes for the global bank, because it's like you can't totally break away from the buffoonery. All right, and I know that they would want us to, but we can't. Okay, all right. Let me see what's going on. Okay, in the comments, when it's turned on. Yeah, when it's turned on, it's going to be just a total changing of lives. All right. So, okay, that's the QR code, and that's what you're going to need to do your transactions. So I don't know if that's complete or not. I know they were saying that was being worked on a couple weeks ago, and it could be complete, or it could. I'm not sure. I'm not sure, but I know that was in the discussions as well. Okay. All right. Now, let's go back and try to get an understanding of where all of this is manifesting. So you all, because the thing about it is that you cannot, you have to keep hearing this information over and over and over again until it sticks. And when it begins to stick, now you're able to articulate this when you're talking to people about your bills, when you're in court, wherever you are, you're able to begin to understand this. And if you're in a school, I actually sent you guys something of a state that actually, a judicial, Michigan, that actually has something on their website in regards to sovereign citizens. Well, we're not sovereign citizens, so I don't know who they're talking about. Well, I guess they're talking about sovereign citizens, but that is not us. Okay. And so, but it's just something to hear the clown talk, the buffoonery of people. Okay, I mean, it is really in a state of a comedian state. Okay, it's funny at this point. It really is. It really is hilarious, because so many people are waking up that those that are trying to defend this are really starting to look like fools. Like, for real, like you're really starting to look like a fool. Okay, so let's go all the way back to the birth. Okay, when we go back to the birth, that is the only time. What, I don't want to say birth, because that's de facto birth, doc, all of that's water, that's admiralty. Okay, when we go back to the time that a child, an offspring, is born. Okay, because I'm really starting to work on my terminology and what I say, because I understand everything is energy, and I don't want anything from that fictitious world to come into my being and my space. So if I keep stopping and correcting myself, give me a chance to do that, because I'm working hard at keeping my entire being as pure as possible. I want to live and walk and stand in truth at all times. And it could start even in the slip of just a word, bringing them in. I don't want them in on anything. Okay. All right. So at the time that a offspring is born, all right, that is the time that there is a pureness, a oneness, a truth. That's why that a baby is so special. That's why when anybody looks at a baby, they get a warm feeling, because they are literally holding a spiritual being, okay, that is one with God. This is why this space is so important. And it is only until the birth certificate is created, the debt that is put on that baby, that it begins. All right. That's the starting point. That's why your birth certificate is money, because it's on bond paper, and you have to begin to understand that. All right. So so it is at that time that the fictitiousness of all of this begins. And so when you are in that state, and the baby now begins to grow, this is where all of the debt is laid on the baby immediately. You got the birth certificate, you got the social security number, then you got all this other, then the baby has to register for school. All of this debt is starting to lay on the baby. There is a certificate at the end of the Sign in America quiz at the course. Then you download and print it out. Do not forget. Yes. Yeah, don't forget your certificate that you'll get. Okay. So anyway, so all of this debt is now on this precious, precious being. All right. Now, when we begin to talk about the debt, you have to understand what the debt is. The debt is not your debt. How does a baby have debt? And this is where you got to begin to ask yourself. The baby hasn't even done anything but exist, so it had to be put on the baby. And that's what debt is. It is put on you. It is not yours. And I know this is so confusing, because when you begin to talk about your how you live, the houses that you stay in, the cars, the food that you eat, we're paying for all of these things on something that is not even real. And every day it should be so mind-boggling to you that I'm paying for this with this that's not even real. And so what we're trying to do now, we're trying to break out of a system that's not real and get back into a system where we are exchanging our energy. Okay. When we're exchanging our energy, we're starting to barter. And the more people that start doing this, the better this is going to be. Let me give you an example. I can assist people in the de facto without having to use a real estate broker, real estate agent. I can save you a lot of money, a ton of money. Okay. I can save people a ton of money teaching you how you can sell your homes yourself. Okay. You don't need to use anybody to do it. And you have the power to do it yourself, even in the de facto system, even with their rules, statutes, and codes. You have the authority to sell your own properties. A lot of times people don't know how to. And that's where I come in, because I can teach you how to. So with the knowledge that I have of learning how to do that, I also have knowledge in educating people. I can educate a 2-year-old up to somebody who's 102. I can teach you everything you need, from writing essays, math, things dealing with science, because I was an educator. I was a teacher. So I can teach, and I can teach you how to learn skills very, very quickly. Okay, especially those that are in middle grades. That was my core right there. So I can teach them how to learn math concepts and all of this very quick. All right. That's my gifting. Okay, that is my gifting. So I can use my gift of educating people in every form of their life with an exchange that they may have. So what does this look like? So say, for instance, you have somebody who knows how to build homes. Okay, or they know how to lay foundation, or they know how to put plumbing in, or electrical work, or they know how to do hair and makeup, or they know how to make clothes. Everybody has a gift. Everybody. You're born, you are born with the gift. I want to make sure I was saying the right word, because y'all know I told you I'm gonna take my time. And so when you have a gift, we have to get to the point now in the part in our life where we learn how to exchange our giftings. See, when we learn how to do that, and we begin to learn how to do that on a massive level, you don't need that anymore. You don't need any of it. And that's where we are right now. Okay. This is the space that we're in. You might know how to cook. Okay. And so I can exchange. You might know how to do, farm. You know might know how to grow vegetables, okay, and fruits. And so we could barter that of me. Okay, I'll educate your child's having a hard time with reading. All right. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll tutor your child 2 times a week, and if you could barter with me some of the fruits and vegetables that you're growing in your garden so I can bring that home to my family. You guys, when we learn how to do this, that doesn't exist anymore. It doesn't exist. This is what we need to start getting out in the mainstream. We need to get in a space of knowing how to exchange our energies with the gifts that we have received. This is what we need to learn how to do. And when you learn how to do that and we begin to master that, we have no need anymore for the de facto. And this is the way it was supposed to be anyway. Dr. Sherry, does that work for us trying to buy a house? They want you to bring proof of purchase before you can see certain homes in Arizona. This is what I'm telling you though. This is what I'm telling you. Say, for instance, you had a gifting where you can begin to barter with someone who knows how to build homes. Okay, we've already proven to them we don't need any of their approval as far as getting permits and licenses and all of that. You don't need any of that when you are the true owners of your land and a allodial title. You don't need permission from them for anything. It's yours. I told you, I just flew to the West Coast. And when I flew from the West Coast, I was amazed. And I've seen this before. I flew to the West Coast plenty of times before. But this time, I said, you know what, Sherry? I want you to make note of just the land. I made a conscientious effort to visibly take note, visually take note of the land that I was seeing. It's so much land that's been untouched, just from what I could see from the airplane. It is so much land. It's enough land out there for all of us. And I was just crossing over from the East Coast to the West Coast. We haven't even seen it on a worldwide scan yet on how much land and property is there. So if they're telling you that it's not, they're lying. When I begin to look at it from the plane, and then I begin to look at the areas, because I know how to look at the grids, because they actually have grids on top of our land. And you can see it from an airplane. I have pictures of it too, of their grids that's put on top of our properties. And our grids, you can have one square and they can put like hundreds of houses just on one section, they call it. Okay. But you don't have to cram all those houses into that section because there's so much land and so much property. And this is why we have to begin to awaken to understand what is going on. You got to awaken to what's really true and what is not true. Let me see what some of y'all have in the comments. The baby is not subjugated until you sign that birth certificate. Nevertheless, my daughter was born in my home and I placed her into the system because they had no idea she existed. Okay. Okay, got it. Okay. So when I'm talking about being able to barter, you have to find people with the skills and the giftings that are awakened like you are. And that's why we have to begin to create pods of people, like bartering pods. Hey, I might be coming up with something here. A bartering pod. Give me a second. I'm manifesting while I'm on live. A bartering pod. Let me see y'all comments. What about one AFD being 1/10 the amount of gold price or something dollars? So now it's worth 10. No. Gold is AFD is gold, but our credits is going to be related to silver. Okay, so they have to pay us in silver as far as our credit's concerned. That's why Anna is saying we got to begin to explain so everybody has an understanding of what's happening. You see, to alleviate the confusion, just even in that. AFD is to gold only. Okay, our credits is to silver only. That's why you need to kind of understand both. The world is not overpriced. It's not. I heard that the world population can fit in the state of Florida. I believe that. I believe that when I began to, again, I made a mental observation this time to take note while I was traveling. Okay. And thank goodness I traveled both times in the day hours. So I was able to see going and coming. Okay. And it's so much land. It's so much untapped land. And then when you get into these metropolitan locations, everything is crammed together. And you can see it. You can see all of the buildings, all of the houses, all of the apartment complex. You can see the downtown areas. Every city I travel in, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Everybody is cramped in this one area where they have all this BS going on. Okay. With needing to pay taxes and all this, because everybody's crammed in this one area, but then you got all of this land everywhere else. Okay. Sounds good. Okay. Laugh out loud. Download it. And then I'm done. I'm telling you, it's coming together. It's coming together. So the thing about it is that think about what your gift is, because we all are born with a gift. And when you begin to exchange your gifts of what you were born with, money doesn't exist. I don't know how to grow fruits and vegetables, and I don't have the time to. My grandmother knew how to grow everything. She knew how to grow everything. She grew up on a farm. My grandmother knew how to wring the chickens' necks, and then they would have that chicken for dinner that night. I don't know if I'd be able to eat it that. Ooh, Lord have mercy. But that's what they did. That's what they did. Okay. Going fishing, coming back with the fish, cook the fish. So we have to begin to think at another level, at another plane. Okay. We have to begin to put our minds in another space. And when you begin to start bartering in your own life, which now I'm going to make it a point to do, I'm going to see if I can start like for real bartering with people without using money with the gifts that I have, to see what I can barter to get back. Okay. You might have some gold jewelry that's laying around and you don't want it anymore, and you might need something over here. We'll see if you can barter. Do you see what I'm saying? Let's begin to think out the box as far as this is concerned, while we are waiting for our global bank. And so that's what I'm trying to tell you. If you even put in a space your own bartering system, that empowers you. It empowers you. Okay. I know sometimes we even did when I was, in the church, we had a system, and now I'm thinking about it. It was a bartering system where we would go and pick up the food from, it was a bakery. I can't remember what, it wasn't Starbucks. It was something like a Starbucks. And they would have all of this leftover bread and stuff that they couldn't do anything with. And so they allowed the church to pick it up, and they would give the church a write-off, and we would pass it out. Okay. This is what I'm talking about. That had nothing to do with money. It was simply a bartering system, whereas they had to get rid of the bread because they had to make sure that they kept everything fresh. We took it, gave the bread away. These are things that we have to begin to put back in place again. Okay. And so, and this is important. So when you begin to barter with services, that's when we know that we're at another level with this. Okay. Services, hair services, getting your teeth cleaned. This is what I'm talking. These are for real services. Automobile service. You have a gift of working on cars. Do you have to be paid in FRNs? Is there something else you could be paid in that will begin to elevate your space even more? Okay. So I hope this has helped you today with this live. We've been on here for a minute. I've given you an update about the global bank. Okay. You need to start studying the exchange rates and begin to understand the exchange rates in all of the currencies that are around the world. And it'll begin to take your mind to another level of not fearing and not having not being afraid of how they use the FRNs against you. It's important that you begin to understand what that FRN is, which is simply, it's not even signed, you guys. It's not even signed. Okay. So you got to begin to understand that it's literally worthless. It's literally worthless. But what you begin to keep hitting your head against the wall, and this is where we all are. It's not just you. We all are in this space right now. Is that they are mandating that we pay for our essential needs, our living, our automobiles, all this stuff with fake fiat. And this is what we have to begin to really verbalize. I don't want to pay with this anymore because it's not real. What other method do you want me to pay for? Or I would give you this promissory note and the Federal Reserve can pay you because that's what it's supposed to be anyway. The Federal Reserve is supposed to pay you. I am not supposed to give you my hard-earned money that I have worked for with my energy. That is mine, okay? And I'm not supposed to have to pay for a debt that has already been covered. So this is where we have to begin. And I know you sometimes, me saying it sounds so easy and simple. And then when you get out in the world and you're being faced with, being hit here and threatened here. And I know it's hard, but these are two worlds now that are starting to, they're clashing now. Okay. They're really bumping heads. And so what we have to do is just continue to keep the pressure of truth. I'm telling you to keep the pressure of truth upon it. Okay? Keep truth upon them. Nothing else but truth. If you stand in truth and you begin to understand what truly happened in 1933, if you begin to understand what truly happened in 1910 when they got away with all of the medicine men. You remember the medicine men? Okay? Do a study on the medicine men and understand how they did away with the medicine men around 1910 and the homeopathic doctors. I'm sorry. The term doctor didn't come into much later because they put everything with the water. Okay. But the healing, okay, using the homeopathic places of healing, all that was done away with. So what I'm trying to get you guys to understand is we got to move back. We gotta move our minds back. We gotta begin to live and move how it was supposed to be. We got to bring our past into our future because that's what's going to save you. All right, let me see what's going on. David Wynn Miller and his assistant created quantum grammar and restored the original republic. Yet they are pissed off because we are free again. Yes, we are. People are really waking up. And that's why I'm going to do my part. I'm going to do my part in continuing to educate, because the more we can keep educating and get everybody out of a place of fear to understand you are fearing something that's not even real. You are literally living the Wizard of Oz. You're living the Wizard of Oz. It's not real. I've watched the play Wicked while I was on one of the planes. And I saw it from a different angle this time. And even when, I don't know if y'all seen Wicked, but when you see Wicked, when they talked about how the animals couldn't teach anymore, I was looking at everything with another type of lens this time. And I was able to pick up on some of the symbolism that was being thrown right in our face. Dr. Sherry, your endeavors are restoring fruition. It is good. Look at the time. Okay, I wasn't even looking at the time. I guess it was like, what, 12? Oh, Lord, yeah, I'm past my time for sure. Doctor spelled backwards. Rot cod. Rot cod. And I know that means something. All right, you guys. That's all I have today. I hope we all are one step further. Don't forget, just to recap again, follow me on all social media. All right. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Okay. Don't forget to give a thumbs up. When you give a thumbs up, you guys, you have no idea. You have no idea what this does. Okay. You have no idea. It pushes this stuff out. So it pushes it out for just one more person to hear this information. And that's what we need. We need this message to get out. And there are many people that are speaking this now, but we just got to continue to get it out, to wake people up, to get them to understand what is truly going on. All right. Join me tomorrow. If you aren't in the school, get in the school. And tomorrow we have our Bill University. We teach you remedies on how to pay these things that you are experiencing. Okay. And that 4 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow, we will do our first Freedom Forward program. And you can get that link at newstatusnewlife.com. The link is on there. I believe it's on there. I think it's on there. Fingers crossed it's on there. I think it is. Thank you so much, Dr. Sherry. A blessed holy day season for all. Thank you for the information. Thumbs up, thumbs up. And that is it. Okay, you guys, I'm going to sign off now. All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Until next time. Bye.